Welcome. It's Sompu versus Mitoe for the EPL, the Grand Finals. Not Grand Finals, the finals of the EPL,
Um,
round of 8.
no, the playoffs. You mean
Oh,
of
the
the
playoffs, Grand Tour. So I've been doing
yeah,
EPL
right.
for like last month. But yeah, it's the Grand Tour. And I'm joined by Kaiserklein, who you just heard. And we're going to get straight into this game on Florida. It's Germany versus Russia.
Yeah, indeed. So that is quite an interesting matchup because it's usually considered to be quite German favored, and this map is quite German friendly overall. I mean, you have only one real gold mine in base. The other one is behind a bit far, but I mean, it's still like, you got your TP in base. There's a lot of hunts. There's still a decent amount of gold. It feels like a pretty good German map, and kind of surprised Sompu is going for Russia here, but looks like he's confident with that matchup. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, and it's not a wood start either. So Germany's not going to get that big advantage they normally get. Obviously, wood starts for Germany on this sort of thing is insane. But Maito's actually going to buy the wood for a trading post, which I know you quite like doing actually, don't you? Instead of going for hunting dogs,
Yeah.
you buy the wood and then you get the trading post up and you chop normally like the 200 wood for the house.
Yeah, it's pretty nice on this map that a city like Russia, which usually can't really do much with their crates at the start, can now do stuff. Because even Sampu should be able to do something now. Like you can see, he's got a house. He's just got 140 gold with the 40 gold treasure. So he's just buying wood and getting hunting dogs. So it's like, usually coin start is still pretty good for Germany as they can go for a market and hunting dogs. But here it's actually Russia going for hunting dogs. But then again, yeah, Germany does get a TP, so
Yeah, obviously Germany liking that TP. That TP being probably slightly too good for Germany in Age 1. I know it's a bit of a contentious issue, but
oh yeah,
also there's 105 coin, which is being contested right here, which is
yeah.
quite a big swing actually. Like 210 coin is for both civs is quite good.
And I think Sompu's barely got it, but I'm not 100%. No, Maita's got it. All right, was pretty close. Okay, so that's a big pickup, especially for. Well, never mind. Actually, for either of these civs, it would be a pretty good pickup.
Yeah, and basically for Germany, it means you can get that sort of extra batch of Ulan out quicker. You have 5 Ulan, or you could age up quicker, which obviously you quite like to do against Russia. War wagons are so strong against Russia age
Or
2.
you could like get your sneak in steel traps or something because you
Oh
have a
yeah,
free market, which you usually don't, plus a free 100 gold. So it might be enough to just get steel traps when you usually don't, or just play it safe and make sure you get a big batch of units, which you don't always get against Russia because of the 5 Cossacks idling you. So the extra resources that Mito is picking up here are very important. And equally, 100 gold would mean the gold for a batch of muskets from Sompu, because we do expect him to start with musketeers. So it would have been pretty nice for him, but yeah, did not quite get it. Does get 100 XP though, which can be very nice as Russia, actually quite underrated, because you can do something like shipping 4 Cossacks second card, and it comes like insanely early. Like you get them almost back to back after the 5 Cossacks, and then it's a very scary pressure. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
yeah. Well, we've got a bit of downtime between the sort of both players aging. If you guys could tell us if the sounds alright, that'd be good. As I think it's okay, but hopefully it's just not right. But what do you expect Might to do in this matchup? Sort of defend with 8 crossbows, go up to fortress like you normally would as Germany, or do you reckon he'll play more into colonial?
Um, yeah, there's a few ways to play it. Usually, I would say you just open Ulan and hold with like TC fire and stuff, and usually you can be fine. And then after that, you sort of adapt depending on what Russia does. I would say you add maybe a couple dots, might ship the crossbows and try to age. However, I know that Maito, if I remember correctly, he told me that he likes to open infantry in that matchup as Germany. So he might do something different, more like crossbow pike or something like that. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly. And Maito's actually got a pretty insane age 1. He's got that 105 coin. He also got 60 food. So he's aged up without any idle, really, on 17 villagers. And he's also just got 80 wood now. So he could definitely get something like steel traps. He's got the gold for it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he got it straight away. And he's collecting a lot more wood than I'd expect now.
Yeah, it does look like a crossbow pike stuff because yeah, he's got quite the amount of wood. I wonder why he's gathering that much gold. I think he wanted 150 so that he could either get Minutemen or steel traps, depending on what's going on, like if he can get away with steel traps or not. Now, however, I don't know why he's gonna gather up to 200 gold because, well, this macro just doesn't make much sense right now for Mitoe.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't really understand the gold collection, especially we'll just have to wait and see what he puts down. Yeah, there's a barracks, yeah.
And he's got 400 wood already, so yeah, it's gotta be crossbow pike, and I don't know what he's gonna do with the gold, but I guess, yeah, okay, he's getting steel traps, and then he will get the gold from Minutemen, which makes sense.
It's 150, and then they just leave it at that, really. And he's gonna get another house down. Obviously, it's quite nice to build the Vax earlier, and then put down the 2 houses, because then you can basically straight away put your units in. But there's the 5 musketeers coming up from Sompu, and I assume he's got 5 Cossacks in queue, but or not in queue.
Yeah, definitely. He does. You can see it in the pop. He's got 13 pop on the way. I mean 8 pop with the 5 Cossacks and prevail. So here they come. And now that's what I was talking about. Like Sompu's got his next shipment already on the way because of the 100 XP, which is quite big, really. So is it gonna be 4 Cossacks? I didn't keep an eye on that, so I'm not sure. But that's a nice Minuteman pop. Settler Wagon tanking all the melee attacks from the Musk. Not the greatest micro here from Sompu, just basically doing absolutely nothing with his Musks, right? Because you don't care about getting a Settler Wagon down to half HP. And meanwhile, also
he did lose a Settler Wagon though, Mitoe. He lost
to the Cossacks on top.
But the Pike's got some nice swings, and there's only a couple of those left. And here's 4 Cossacks coming in, and there's not really much to help them behind. There's 5 Expos in queue, and there's 5 Pikes there, sort of a number of Minutemen. I mean, Germany can age quite easily now, I think. He doesn't really have to stay in H2 here.
It's like... I mean, killing a Settler Wagon is okay for a couple of Cossacks, but losing 5 Musks is not really okay, although he did force Minutemen. But what's really a problem here for Sompu is that he banked on that second Cossack shipment, right? Because like I said, with the XP, you get them much faster, so you might be able to do more than usual with these 4 Cossacks that come extra early. But it doesn't work if you first waste your 5 Musks and half of your 5 Cossacks, right? Then shipping 4 Cossacks and sitting with them like he's doing now is just not what you want to do. So he might have wanted to be extra careful with these units and wait for that second timing with the 4 Cossacks here, because these Cossacks do nothing right now. That's the point.
Yeah, especially with how many Pikes Mitoe has now. He has 10 Pikes and a couple of Uhlans. These Cossacks don't really do anything, and the crossbow and the Minutemen, they're going to trade quite nicely with Musketeers. Obviously, there is 2 blockhouses down, but what are these Cossacks going to do? They come in and sort of just not do anything, as you said. And honestly, Mitoe's at least going to take down 1 blockhouse.
I don't know, though. I mean, Mitoe is taking quite a bit of damage while sieging this down. However, he's got more units on the way from the 8 bows. This is a pretty strong timing for Germany. 3 Settler Wagon, 708 bows in an early TP. You get a pretty nice mass, but... yeah, I guess he will get this down. I don't see Russia holding that, right? He's got certain straight outs on the way, though, which is gonna be pretty good. But if the... Mitoe might have wanted to force that, just right-click the blockhouse, and I don't know.
Less than half HP now. He could have got it down quite easily, especially with how many Pikes he has there. Still has 6 Pikes. He's represent quite a lot of siege. And that Expo mass is quite large. Where's the 13 Shredlets go out? I think he would have got that down. And that would have been
he would have got it down before they pot, but I think he was afraid of some of just Cossacks because he doesn't have a lot of anti-cav or anything. So he was probably afraid of overcommitting there. But in hindsight, I'm pretty sure Mitoe could have done that easily. And then if he denies the second blockhouse, the 13 threats pop in base, and Sompu has he's just losing all of his momentum there, and then Mitoe can probably age. And now it's kind of the opposite. It feels like Mitoe is, well, he's maybe not stuck in Colonial, but he's going to age later than usual for sure, which is never really what you want as Germany in this kind of matchup. I wonder if he's even going to just stay Colonial. Maybe going to bank on the fact that Sompu will expect Mitoe to age because he's added a stable here, and he might just train a bunch of Uhlans and maybe a couple Dops and just try to get a good fight when Sompu goes in.
Yeah, but honestly, does he really want to stay H2 here? At all, because obviously Russia sort of known for being very strong in late H2, and Germany not being probably one of the weaker civs in H2, right? Because or one of the weaker civs. And H3,
you don't want to see. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, H3 Germany is so strong, isn't it, compared to Russia? You could just make war wagons, and most of their composition doesn't really do anything because obviously Strelets have less range than war wagons. But here's the fight, and I don't know who wins this. Obviously, Mitoe's actually really far ahead of military unit population.
And I think he's got something on the way. If he's gonna push now, he's gonna have like 3 dubs on the way and a batch of something. And Somppu didn't repair his blockhouse, which is a big mistake. And the thing that Somppu doesn't have any more unit shipments. I mean, he was forced into the good old 5-4-13, and now Somppu moving in, Mitoe trying to siege now, focusing the Cossacks. A Cossack pop right on top of Mitoe's stuff. And a batch of Uhlans idle in Mitoe's base, so I'm not sure how this is. I think regardless, Mitoe is doing okay here, but it's maybe not the greatest trade. If only he had these idle Uhlans in his base, I think he would be in a much better position now. Also not sure why he still doesn't have 3 dubs or something. Kind of a weird time to push before you get your batch of Uhlans. And yeah, could have maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he did definitely come out quite nicely on that fight, and he's going to get the blockhouse and the house now. But at the same time, oh, actually, with those 5 Uhlans, that's yeah, that's an interesting shipment. But I mean, if he cleared up the musketeers here, I mean, they're going to come from base from Somppu as well. He's definitely cleaned up this forward base, and if those 5 Uhlans could just get, oh, there's the GG anyway. I was gonna say if the Uhlans come over, it's just done anyway.
So it's like that was kind of a weird game, right? It's like some Mitoe pushed twice, and twice it wasn't the greatest push. Like he sort of you know, first time he didn't get the second blockhouse down. The second time he just sort of sieged a stable and lost a lot of units. But regardless, he just got such a nice trade early on, and it's just this matchup. You just get more shit as Germany's kind of and also the fact that Somppu ships 3 unit shipments without ever being aggressive. I mean, except the 5 Cossacks at start. When you think about it, he shipped 4 Coss and just sat there with them. And then he shipped 13 Strelites and also did nothing with them, right? And so that sort of just screwed up Somppu's build order here, I feel like.
Yeah, and basically he just sat back and didn't do anything when Mitoe was able to get that sort of strong 3 settler wagon shipment out and not really have any damage from the push that he had, and ended up just booming with a bigger army out the back of it. And at the end of the day, whoever's got a bigger army tends to win, no matter how well the other person plays. So
yeah, and it's like also the fact that Somppu lost his infrastructure, and because he had to ship the unit shipments and couldn't get 700 wood, means that it's much harder for Somppu to get any cav out early on or any streetlets. And Streetlet cav is pretty much the composition you want to have against crossbow pike. So he was pretty much making only muskets the whole game, and muskets and not, especially ruskets are not very good against crossbow pike, right? So that was just a bit awkward from Somppu here. But overall, pretty good defense from Mitoe and nice timings there still. So yeah, convincing first game from Mitoe here.
And it looks like we're going to hop straight into the next game. Which is France Ottoman on Great Plains. And on this map in particular, I mean, locking France first for Mitoe obviously is quite strong. It's, if you didn't know it's New World Championship rules, oh, you would have done. You played yesterday, didn't you, or the other day? But locking France first is quite strong, isn't it? Because it doesn't have a huge amount of counter picks.
Yeah, you can't really ever counterpick France so much. I mean, there's a couple civs like Hero, I think, do pretty good against France. Arguably Sioux, but you can't really hard counter France like ever. But obviously Somppu is going for Otto because it's just I still think Otto wins this matchup easily on this specific map. Although we have to keep in mind that at least France has like a ton of resources in base, right? You get a bison hunt, you get a deer hunt, you get 2 mines in your base. So even though Otto might be able to control the stagecoach and give you a hard time, you can still sort of turtle and maybe sneak in your age up and how it works, you know. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Exactly, and obviously just TP maps in general are very strong for both civs, and this map in particular being, I think it has the most TPs of any map on EP. So it's probably one of the best maps for Autumn, as you said. But
Yeah.
it's going to be a coin start, so obviously France, I think, enjoys that slightly more, as they get down the early market and they get hunting dogs and they buff their stronger villagers straight away. But,
Yeah. And one thing I want to point out is Sompu smartly not going for the standard TP here. In fact, going there because he doesn't want to lose his Explorer to the French Explorer plus Native Scout. So that's well, he's gonna get the XP a bit later and age up a little bit later as a result, but he will have his Explorer alive and be able to take more treasures. So it's probably a good decision, especially because he spotted that, which is absolutely huge. So kind of lucky food treasure there for Sompu right on the way to his TP, and Mitoe will probably not be able to contest it. And 130 food for Otto is just obscene, really. It's worth much more than for Musties, which are just more eco.
Yeah, that treasure in particular is a bit. I don't entirely like it, seeing as you basically just clutch up the Outlaw Rider, and these coyotes are so weak, you take them down so quickly. And it ends up basically being a 2 coyote treasure for 130 food. And especially for a civ like Ottoman, it's just insane.
It's pretty much just 3 coyote treasures for civ that have a crack shot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It would be the same if it would be 3 coyotes. You would just crack shot the coyote anyway. And it's insane. I mean, Sompu is at 600 food. Mitoe is at 100 food, and the age up time is going to be so different. I expect Sompu to be up at maybe 340 or something like that, maybe even earlier, which is absolutely insane.
Well, obviously, Ottoman always does age up quicker, but this is just going to be particularly quick. Even with Sompu going probably to sort of a worse TP, getting those 3 settlers in slower, he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind at all about that, and... yeah, but only few settlers coming in actually slower than France without a TP.
Yeah, because France did get 60 XP treasure.
Yeah.
And Sompu interestingly also decided to use the gold to build the market, which is a little bit more greedy. He didn't get hunting dogs because that would delay his age up, but just killing the in-base coin treasure and the gold star, just decided to use that gold and get a market up.
Yeah, and Mitoe's actually going to be up here. I think he's just waiting and going to crack shot one of these Outlaw Riders and get 320 XP. And that's sort of a huge... If you could do that without the Ottoman Explorer finding out, it's huge. Because at the end of the day, 320 XP is basically a shipment, isn't it, at this point in the game? So he's going to bring the scout forward, but you might even just tank the scout. You never know what he's going to do. But the Ottoman Explorer is actually quite close.
Yeah, but he will probably... Wait, never mind. He's not chopping wood. I was going to say the Ottoman Explorer is probably going to be able to TP and might then just... Do you think he knows about that treasure? Surely he does. Yeah, now...
he must do now, yeah. Now he's moving in. Or maybe he's just... I don't know. I don't think he's even come over this side, so I don't really know what he's doing.
I feel like he's hiding his Explorer, waiting for the 400 wood to build a trading post here. Because he's gonna FF. Like that's my guess. He doesn't know about the treasure. He's just waiting for the 400 wood. Gonna use it for a trading post and just FF like that. The other way to do it would be to eject the tower and chop 200 more wood to the TP. But here he doesn't need to chop, obviously, because he's got the wood from the age up. So yeah, just sort of a bit greedy FF here, getting 2 TPs, and that's what he wants to do here. But is Mitoe just gonna deny that TP? Looks like Mitoe does not intend to take a trading post.
Yeah.
And I really still think it's an FF, but because of the wood from the age up, he can also afford to drop a barracks here. But we'll have to see. I might be wrong.
I mean, normally if you're doing just sort of a normal auto FF, you got the tower, right? But he's collecting like a decent amount of coin here. And he's going to go to 300 coin. Oh, 700 wood. So maybe he's going.
It's just kind of weird. Because usually you would expect Otto to chop for a second TP in transition because why not? I mean, like he's got way too many resources now, so why would you not chop 200 wood in transition for an extra TP? That's why I thought he was going to FF and he wanted to keep the food. But in fact, it's because he wants to go for a quick Janabus, apparently.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure Janabus is actually that strong against France Age 2, simply because Mitoe's going to get down to stable, obviously, and he also got that 320 XP treasure, so he can just age up incredibly quickly if he gets a 700 coin, or send a military shipment if he needs to. And I think he's just going to be fine. And as you said, maybe it would have been better to shop for an extra TP and have 3 TP instead of 2 TP at this point.
Right. And then you can delay your second building, which is nice because you can first go scout the French base. And like, let's say he starts stable, then you have a Rax, you just add a stable yourself. So then you can do Jan Hus against Hus. And if he has a barracks, you can add a foundry. So you can have Jan Abus against Musks, which is pretty much just countering any unit composition France is going to do, at least until he adds a building himself. So now, because of that, like Somppu dropping that foundry extra early and not actually scouting what Mitoe does, he's got Jan Abus, which is, it's never bad, honestly, to have Jan Abus. Yeah, exactly. You can't say it's bad, but it's not ideal maybe against Hassa opening. However, is Mitoe really going to make any Hus?
I don't think he is. I think he's just going to straight FF. I mean, he's got a coin down. And because of that XP, he's going to go straight into the next stage with a shipment ready. So, honestly, I think he just holds this easily as soon as he ages up. I mean, obviously, Somppu's going to have a better eco because he's going to have 5 TP Stagecoach. But he's going to be sort of stuck in age 2 against the France, which is going to be age 3.
Yeah, then again, he's going to have the full... Yeah, he's going to have so much more eco than France, but France is going to be up incredibly early. He's gonna hit up now at like 655 or something like that, and that's just so quick. He's got a stable. He's got probably 1 pass of Stagecoach as well, like 100 wood or something from that. So Mitoe in a pretty good spot here, I think, and Somppu's still not having the 5 TPs either. So you know, I mean, it just takes so long to siege down the TP, and then you're left with almost the units somehow, because he went 600 wood and not 700 gold. Again, because he didn't shop in transition, then he didn't have enough wood, and then he had to ship 600 wood, which means he could not actually build Abus. He's got 3 Abus guns, which is ridiculously useless here, actually.
Yeah, imagine if it just gets a Falk shipment now. He's going to do so much damage, Mitoe, and he's got Dragoons in queue, obviously, maybe suspecting... the 3 Hus shipment, which just come out now, as I was saying that. But yeah, I mean, this push isn't actually that scary at the end of the day. These 3 Abus guns, and there's 5 Dragoons. He has a shipment already because although the Dragoons are going to get, they're going to take heavy damage, and there's the barracks are going to go down that CDB. So those 3 Hussars are going to go down incredibly easily.
And another CDB. I wonder why Mitoe didn't go for 8 skirms when he knew that there was a foundry. He scouted it with his nats. So he could have gone 8 skirms, 5 goons, because you know that it's not like Otto is going to get a ton of hussars. He's going to have 3 at most. So with Minutemen, 8 skirms, and 5 goons, you're totally fine to hold that. But he decided to go for 10 goons, which is arguably safer, but also means he's in a bit of a trouble right now and can't really fight that. 8 skirms would have been just so incredibly nice, really.
And obviously, 8 skirms actually do counter Abus guns, because Abus guns have slightly less range, so you can just counter them. But there's the 8 skirmishes hit. And Somppu has to get back here. He can't contest this. Or maybe he can. Maybe he's going to try to. I don't know.
It's like none of these players can really do much here. Somppu can't push in. He's gonna maybe... Nah, he's gonna go back. And Mitoe can just kite, but he can't really fight, but he can just poke all the time with his skirms. But Somppu definitely can't go into that just because he's gonna get kited to death. And now Mitoe is trying to get some more free kills. Has to be careful though, because for once Otto has more eco, and you don't really want to take this kind of trade maybe against Otto right now, just because he's gonna outmass you. Losing a lot of the goons, but also killing the hussars and quite a few units there. But now there's a decent mass of Abus, and yeah, I'm not sure how this is. I think this is a pretty close game at this point.
Yeah, especially with Silk Road coming in. Otto's eco is incredible. I don't actually know if I like Silk Road, because at this point, is it really worth it? It's probably, what, 5 villagers, right?
It's still good. I mean, it's like 5 bills, and every crate you ship, like, you can still ship 600 gold and 700 food, essentially. I think. I'm gonna check his deck. Yeah, 700 food and 600 gold. So it's still a good card, but it just feels like not what you want right now. I feel like 600 gold and age up would have been really good for Somppu here, because Mitoe doesn't have quite enough units to push out just yet. Yeah. So he could have been 600 gold and just age. But instead he's going for the greedy, long-term colonial play, which is also okay. Well, we'll have to see how it goes.
And 2 falconets from Mitoe. I'm not entirely sure I like that, if I'm honest. Because obviously those falconets, if you just look at how many Abyss guns Somppu has, he has 9 Abyss guns. Do you know how many Abyss guns it is to shoot down 1 falconet? It's not many, is it?
They do 30 damage with the multiplier, I believe.
So yeah, he could definitely one-shot those.
7 Abyss, yeah. Yeah, he can, but then you still need to send your Abyss forward, so they still, you know, get shot. And obviously the Abyss being your most valuable unit, yeah, you can trade for the Falcons, but you never really want to lose your Abyss, and you will have to lose a lot of Abyss if you want to kill the Falcons right now, so...
Yeah. And also they bring quite a lot of siege, come to forgive it, so he's going to take down this forward base quite easily. And
I do feel like Krias might have been better, maybe? I don't know. Krias would be really good here. Alright, so Somppu is going to go for it.
And he might take down the falconets just with the hussars instead. Yeah, he's going to take down the falconets with the hussars. And the hussars at the back are getting out the skirmishers. So those dragoons are sort of in the wrong place. Although Somppu needs to turn around with these hussars, I think, isn't he? Yeah. And he's going to get a really nice catch here. Unless there's a couple of dragoons coming
running in the hussars?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell is happening?
What is going on? No one's doing anything.
There you go. But the Abyss just are going to come forward as well and just going to take extra more shots. Honestly, Somppu just probably lost probably 4 or 5 skirmisher kills there, because now the dragoons are back here. They can defend the skirmishers themselves.
Yeah, but equally, I think Mitoe could have saved his stuff and also maybe call Minutemen, and he would have saved most of his skirms there. But yeah, pretty good trade for Somppu. Then again, we gotta keep in mind that even though Somppu gets Silk Road and his ship 4 vills, he will eventually get sort of outscaled by France, and also France's fortress. But right now, it looks like just so good for Mitoe, for Somppu.
Yeah, Somppu even now fitting in 4 settlers, and if we look at his villages, he doesn't actually have Abbasid marker yet, but maybe that's like he would like to go get and get sort of a villager upgrades up. But yeah, Mitoe sort of included to his base at this point, but there's not a huge amount of hunt in his base. There's only a couple of bisons, and he's already on the coin mine all the way over here, and oh, that's just a skirmisher. But yeah, there's 2 hussars now going up to that coin mine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mitoe does get 7 skirms on the field, so he should be able to kite a bit. But yeah, it's just you know, Otto sort of has an unlimited remass at this point, because he's got an insane eco. I mean, this is British level of eco right there, I think. Like, he's got 25 bills from the TPs pretty much, and 29 from his own eco. A couple market upgrades as well, like he's got steel traps. So this is pretty much 50 plus bills eco, let's say. While France doesn't nearly have that, and France is sort of relying on these unit shipments, but once he's out of unit shipments, I don't think he will be able to catch up in mass. Even now, he's outmassed pretty badly after this trade.
Yeah, France basically has sent all their unit shipments. The only ones they haven't sent is cuirassiers and obviously cavalry combat, which is sort of a later game shipment. And he doesn't have a mass to speak of, as you said. I mean, there's only a couple of skirmishers and dragoons there. And if Somppu can micro as well, he's just got the bigger army. He's just going to squish in here and end up winning, right?
Yeah. Oh, 5 Krias are huge, though. He's probably going to ship 3 as well. I think he's got them on the way. I think Mitoe should have a shipment on the way, because...
Yeah, there you go. As you said. So there's 8, which is going to be quite a force to be reckoned with, really. It's not... I mean, obviously Janissaries are anti-cavalry, but they're not the best anti-cavalry unit. And sort of Abbas just suck completely against cuirassiers, don't they? And if Mitoe can get a big batch out, another 5 out, and he gets Cav combat or something, he's going to be in a good position just to push out himself.
Yeah, he kind of wants to get Cav combat and like 5 more Krias and just hope he can crush a fight.
I think Mitoe just lost 5 settlers up here, 5 CDB up on this top right mine, which is.
He's lost 5 overall. He actually lost like 2 or 3 already when he aged up, and here he just lost 1 right now. But yeah, I mean, it's just Sompu's gonna age though, so you know you kind of want to age at some point as Otto, but maybe now is not the right time. Maybe he could keep pressuring this position, and instead Sompu is gonna click up, which means it gives a shot to Mitoe to just do that. Like he's got 5 more careers, not waiting for calf combat, which I kind of question. But here it's gonna be good because Sompu is aging. This is the perfect timing for Mitoe here. So this is his best chance to come back in this game.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously those Abba's gonna go forward, but he's gonna get caught definitely by these Quizzes if Mitoe can micro it correctly. And as I said earlier, these Janissaries, before they get Vetracy or Janissary combat, aren't very good against the Quizzes. And he's just gonna smash everything in there.
But the deals are gonna help, and Sompu can totally afford to sack some deals here. So Mitoe is not gonna take that. He's like, nah, no way. Also, because Mitoe doesn't know that Sompu is up. Maybe Mitoe is gonna regret right now. He's like, damn, he's up. What do I do now? I just went back when I needed to go in. Because obviously, if you would have, I mean, there's not gonna be a better chance for Mitoe to take a fight than right now in this game. So
no, he needs to take the fight before Veteran Abbas comes in and Veteran Janissary. Veteran Abbas is now on his way, as I said. He's going to get a nice catch over Quizzes on the back with all those Abbas, but fighting around that stable gives quite a lot of range to Sompu.
Yeah, but I think this is a great... Calf combat is gonna come late. He's got calf combat on the way, I'm pretty sure, but it's gonna come when most of the clears are dead, which is really big. I would assume it's calf combat. So yeah, there's not quite enough clears left to kill the Abus, and yeah, calf combat, just imagine if it would have come 15 seconds before. That being said, few clears still alive. Sompu maybe not hit and running in the best way here, and the goons also do okay. A reinforcing batch of goons, all in all, Mitoe is in a fine spot here, isn't he? I mean, he's killed a bunch of vills, he's killed the entire army. Sompu still needs to upgrade his gens and stuff, probably. He's out of resources. I think this is pretty good for Mitoe indeed, yeah. 5 Kavachas gonna come in, which is not what you want against
They don't counter anything here, do they? I mean, K versus the goons, but versus the skirmishers, they just drop like flies. And I think Sompu ended up probably losing about 25 Abbas there, and Abbas aren't cheap, and he had a nice mass, but he doesn't have a mass now, and they're so slow to make his units.
And he's just snowballing so much, because now Mitoe's catching that batch of Abus, and I think Sompu shipped the Kavachas to cover Abus from the Krias. But right now he's just losing his Abus regardless, because Kavachas just do nothing. Couple more gens gonna get picked off. Soon Mitoe will be able to just get the tower down, or maybe get the TPs down and just be really much ahead in eco. And no, he's just sitting under the foundry again and just catching again a batch of Abus guns. And it's going to be another pretty bad trade for Sompu here.
And at the same time, he's losing so many villagers though, to a career save mode.
Oh yeah, this is GG. This is G. That's no way you can save these, and then he's got nothing left. Really, after that he's got nothing.
Yeah, there's the GG. I think Sompu may be throwing that game slightly actually.
Yeah, he did throw, and he could have killed there were only 3 Krias. He could have killed them with Abus, honestly. It's like he's saying that Abus are not good, but honestly he just microed there. But regardless, yeah, aging up was sort of a big throw. I mean, why would you age when you can just keep pressuring the resources and contain your opponent? You don't have to age then. You're sitting on a great eco, you have more units. Aging is just the best way to lose the game, probably. And he did. Because if you look at the resources graph, Sompu is like constantly ahead in resources. If you look at the military, he was quite ahead as well until he decided to age. And then he just lost the game.
Yeah, just look at that trade at 15 minutes, 16 minutes even. Just when Sompu aged, he just lost so many units so quickly. And there's nothing you can do. You can't kill that army. Obviously, Dragoons and Cuirassiers are really quite strong against the Ottoman army. And when France gets a mass, and Ottoman doesn't have a mass, but obviously a slightly better eco, what can Ottoman really do in that situation?
Yeah, this game was
it's weird. It was sort of flip flop, and
yeah, I didn't expect it to end like that. Although when he aged, I was thinking this might happen, but yeah. Yeah, that was a game. All right. So that makes it 2-0 for Mitoe here. Coming back in this game after being already quite behind, I think. I mean, if you go for this kind of super quick FF and you let Otto get the whole TP line as a result, you kind of want to do a lot with your units early on, right? Like you need these 8 skirms and 5 guns and stuff to do a lot of damage to Otto if you want to contest that 5 TP. And his first unit shipments did pretty much nothing. He kind of wasted them. And still coming back because, yeah, Somppu just aged, giving Mitoe a shot at just winning a fight. And then Mitoe did a pretty good job of snowballing that advantage into killing more units, killing bills, and just totally shutting Otto down.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like we're going to get straight into our next game. These players don't hang about, so it's going to be China versus India on Malaysia, which is a good map for both, obviously. And you have that C which you can defend yourself, and there's Yaks dotted across the map. And we just have to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, this is a pretty good map for possibly C's. Somppu's main sieve being India, but Mitoe, one of his main sieves also being China. So we might see some water stuff from Somppu and that kind of stuff. Or we might see something really aggressive. It's hard to tell, but it's going to be a fun game, I'm sure.
Yep, and actually, is it? Oh, Mitoe's obviously pausing. That's fine. I don't know what he's doing, but it is a it's a coin start as well. So obviously,
Alright, that makes sense. Okay.
but yeah, we can just talk about the map and whatever whilst that happens. But it is a coin start, so obviously China always gets the same start except from that extra food crate, which they can sometimes get. Meanwhile, India gets that coin start, which we don't really like, do we? Because they don't go for a market normally, because obviously the Asian upgrades are slightly worse than Age 1. And
yeah,
India just likes that wood start, but it's not too bad. Is India the aggressor in this matchup? Because I honestly I've never played this matchup in my life. I don't think.
I think there's several ways to play it, and I'm not the best person to ask that question to. But I would say that you either have to do something like a naked FF as India and hope you just hold in early fortress and then sort of try to outscale China, although it's not easy to outscale China. Or you can, maybe the more standard thing to do is to just be aggressive and then maybe follow up yourself, something like a consulate rush or just an early pressure or something like that. I don't really know. I think it's quite a complex matchup, but I would maybe call it China favored. I think it feels kind of hard for India to punish the FF, and it also feels hard for India to hold the FF once China is up. Then again, this is Somppu we're talking about, so he's just gonna try to probably buy time somehow while getting a water eco behind, or just 3 TCs or something, and keep running Sepoys and hope it works. And so it's maybe not gonna go in a standard way, this matchup now between these players.
Yeah, and obviously Somppu normally, I mean, we watch Somppu quite a lot in casted games in general, and he likes just going for that forward aggro and going for sort of 12 Sepoys start or whatever, and just pushing into someone's base, and then see what you can do with that and slow people down, as you said. But while we're still waiting, we can talk about the tournaments which start. I believe they start in a couple of days.
Just one thing before, can you update the score?
I can update the score. I didn't do it. It's 2-0 Mitoe, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've just.
Yeah, sorry. What were you saying?
I was going to talk about the tournaments which start in a couple of days. The TWC tournament and the No Rush 20 tournament, which people can sign up for on ESOC if they want to. And have you signed up for either of them? I assume you've signed up for the TWC one.
I signed up for the War Chief one, yeah.
Yeah, not the No Rush 20 one? You don't want to play in that?
I signed up and then I cancelled. I just realized I couldn't bother to actually practice that, because you know I can sign up for a sub tournament and just not really practice or only for the later rounds. But if I play in Rush 20, I really have to like bother learning the stuff. And meanwhile, I have like 2 tournaments, like this one they're playing, and plus the War Chiefs. So it was just not worth it. But anyway, yeah. So this is gonna be game 3 out of this best of 7, I believe, between Sompu and Mitoe. And we do have a coin start, like you said, and I think it was a coin and no food start. So pretty much the worst possible start for India here.
Yeah, and as I said, India doesn't like the coin, and if there's no extra food crate, I don't think China doesn't get the same food crate, do they? You don't get the. Do they get a bonus one, or do they not? I don't actually know.
I think India starts with 1 food crate, but they can have 2 depending on the start.
Okay.
And this time he had 1, which is like, so like I said, the worst, because you're the slowest here. You don't have any extra food, you don't have any extra wood, but you have 100 gold that you can't do anything with it. So yeah, it's pretty bad. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, and guys, keep in mind that I believe 50% of all the donations will go towards the prize pool of this tournament?
Yeah, this tournament. 50% will go to the Grand Tour finals. So if you donate $10, let's say Kaiser wins, he'll get $5 of that. So that's the best way of looking at it. But,
yeah, do that.
But Sompu's going to come across 90 wood, so maybe his start isn't so bad, because obviously 90 wood for India is one of the strongest treasures you can get. And right next to that, there's also 35 wood, which you can pick up quite easily. Obviously, Mitoe's going to go for a trading post, but at the same time, Mitoe's got quite a lot of yaks. Normally, you'd expect China to do worse than India with yaks, because obviously the Indian explorers are quicker, and you normally send send your explorers China to go get a trading post.
Right. And the Disciple also has less line of sight, like much less, so it's a bit harder with it to actually find stuff. But yeah, that is true. He did get an unusually high amount of yaks here. But yeah, India did get the 90 wood, which is making up for the coin start pretty much. While Mitoe did get the a 90 food himself, which is not bad either. So I would say this start is pretty good for Mitoe, but Sompu not getting the worst age one for sure. Although he actually forgot to pick that up, but he will get it, so it's alright.
He will get it, definitely. Unless he just misses it completely, which seems like all he...
What?
Yeah, if he misses that, that's huge. And then if Mitoe goes down and gets it, it's going to be funny. But Mitoe's even going to pick up 40 wood, and... yeah, maybe. I think Mitoe's a bit confused that Kaiser had... What? He sent northern refugees, but apparently he didn't get a villager from his village. I think he did if he has 16 now. Or maybe not.
I don't know. I wouldn't know how many villas you should have right now. I mean, I would need to make the math.
You age up with 16 if you're China without 2 TC villagers, and you age up with 17 with 2 villagers. So I actually think he's fine. He may have not got one, I don't know. But
you start with like what, 6 vills?
6 vills, and then you
do your first vill at 5 seconds. So at 3 minutes, you should have queued a total of, let me think, quick, 175. So that's like 7 vills. You should train 7 vills and get +2. That's like 9 and 6 is 15. And yeah, no, he did not. At 3 minutes, you should have 15 vills if you do it well, and you should have 16 at 325. And I think it's pretty much what he did. He might have, I don't know, he's still on 16. He should have, okay, now he's got 7.
No, actually, no, he's got one.
He's got a vill, actually. He's missing a vill, so I don't know what happened there, but he's missing a vill.
He got one more than India, didn't he? He has one more vill than India, and India obviously get one with the shipment, so surely they actually are equal. Maybe, I'm pretty sure he did get one out. Because otherwise he'd be equal with India, if he only got one from the shipment.
Yeah. Doesn't India start with 5 vills? No, they have 6.
No, they start with 6. So India should only be 1 vill behind if you have 1 village.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, then never mind, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to tell because also then
Yeah.
Somppu is maybe idling a bit when he's aging. It's not a perfect. Like most of these players tend to idle a bit because as an Asian Civ you want to queue your age up and then start making more. I don't know. It's maybe not. Well, I'll check later in the graph at the end of the game if I remember, but not really sure right now. But well, either way, what do we have?
Consulate going up from Somppu.
And a kind of forward aggro, but you can't really place it down more forward than that because of the TP line.
Yeah, the TP line sort of stops you. On the other side is the aggro's quite big, so you tend not to be able to build it on the other side of a TP line. But if Somppu goes to the British consulate here, he's going to go just for basically an all-in consulate rush, right?
Yeah, and I like that he's split a little bit his consulate from the aggro so that Mitoe did not scout it just yet. He might find it later, but right now he doesn't know about the consulate. He might guess it because Somppu is kind of known for his consulate rush. So he might expect it, but he didn't confirm it yet. Oh my god.
He still hasn't taken it.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, especially with consulate, that's such huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's consulate rush is the kind of build where
you need the 90 wood. Like
the macro is really tight. Yeah, and 90 wood can make a difference. But well,
he does this quite a lot actually. He's the game versus you. He missed the training post. Like he built it to like 249 or something weird, and then just left it for some reason. But I don't know. He might be drunk or something. I don't know. But
what really confused me is that he was sending his elephants back to the 90 wood at some point. Like he realized that he did not pick it up, and then the elephants were going straight for it, and then they just went back, and then he still didn't pick it up. But well, anyway, here comes a push. So that's the timing: 300 export, get a batch of red coats, and then ship Forcer Wars while you're training infantry. Here he makes some Gorkas, which is actually kind of surprising from some people. But yeah. 8 bows coming right at the perfect time to defend though, and I don't think Somppu can push into that.
Yeah, by the looks of it, Mitoe is sort of playing a bit more on age 2. He's not even getting a consulate down for himself, so he's gonna get the he's gonna get the British consulate out. He's gonna get a couple of red coats out, which will be nice. But yeah.
Now,
this is nicely played from
Mitoe. Patch popping as well. Mitoe just completely cleaned this up. Popping Minutemen on the Star Wars, Patch from the Summer Palace right at the good time, and just gonna completely clean this up. And then he can just follow up his 700 gold and age.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of push is sort of devastating for Somppu. He is still ahead on eco. If you actually probably not even ahead, he's probably about equal on eco when you account for the Summer Palace. But yeah, he's used his export shipment up, which is obviously normally used for the Ottoman continent, and he hasn't really got a huge follow up after this, especially when China gets to the next stage. Mitoe sending 7 step, I'm a bit confused by.
Yeah, maybe he just feels like he's got such a decisive advantage here that he can press the issue in colonial. Because also when you hold the consulate rush, you know that India doesn't have much of a follow-up. Because they have a bad eco, they use one of the unique shipments and the export. So they don't have, all Somppu can do now is ship 5 seaports. But obviously it's just not enough. I think this is GG actually. I like this idea from Mitoe to just keep pushing. Well, what is he gonna do? He doesn't even have the Ottoman consulate, so he can't call Minutemen. So it's just like so bad for Somppu right now. And the aggro is slowly but surely gonna go down. This looks like a 3-0 to me.
Exactly, and these Chukadoos are so hard for India to really do anything with. Those steps are going to go down, but these pikes are sieging the aggro down fast, and that's a big boon to the XP curve of Mitoe there. He's probably just going to send 700 core decks, isn't he, and just age up. So
I think he's got the pikes on the way because he's overpopped right now, so it has to be a unique shipment.
Oh, he actually hasn't sent pikes. I thought he did. I didn't see him send 600 wood instead, which is how he powered this sort of army. And yeah, India doesn't even have a barracks up, I don't think, yet. So yeah, what can India do? They're just gonna get pushed off
Well, I
everything.
guess
They're gonna get stable down.
and 5 sepoys, but they don't do much against the Chukunos, and I don't know what he's gonna. Yeah, I guess he's got some Gorkas, so maybe Somppu is okay to hold that. I think Mitoe might regret shipping 9 pikes here, because I'm not sure what they're really gonna do. But still, I mean, Mitoe has just such a commanding lead. He's even going in now with the 2 cav and the pikes to snare, and never mind. Actually, he's gonna clean this up.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this is just over for Somppu. He is slightly ahead on eco now because he sent forward logging, but China at any point now can just age whenever he wants to. He's got map control. He's gonna get another batch of steps out. I think he's even making the step army. Yeah, he is. He's making the step rider and Chukunu army, and maybe that Townsend will even go down. But he's definitely going to be popped something now. He does get a batch of five sours out, but there's a number of units there which he can sort of handle.
Yeah, 5 sours, not gonna do much here. Actually, gonna waste some of them currently, and yeah, Mitoe's now shipping 700 gold and gonna proceed to age up. And what do you do then as India here? I mean, yeah, you just quit. Really, you quit. I mean, sending sours on the pikes now. I think he's just resigning now. I don't know. Like, Mitoe's gonna be able to basically right-click the Indian TC while also aging.
Yeah, which is pretty insane actually.
Yeah.
And Somppu's gonna lose so many villagers here, just from the outskirts here. Chukunu doing so much damage. And Somppu's gonna be popped again. But look at you just look at the overall population, 36 to 60, and that's just over. GG from Somppu.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Consolidate Rush is just pretty bad against China. If China actually stays H2, it's pretty good if they FF maybe. But when they H2, every time it looks like that. I mean, how do you kill Chukunus? Because they're so strong against Sepoys and Redcoats. How do you kill them at this point? Like, I feel like Consolidate Rush is just wrong here. And Mitoe just punished it really, really hard. That was another... Like game 1, this was not very close, but game 2 was pretty close. But this was pretty one-sided here, and yeah, it's 3-0 already after 45 minutes, basically.
Yeah, we might end up with a rather quick stream today. It might only be an hour. You never know if Mitoe clean sweeps. I know some people wanted it to be quick, but maybe not this type of quick. But we'll hop into our next game. It's Manchak, which is a map you don't normally see. But it is Mitoe to pick again. But Mitoe has quite a deep Civ pool, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He did use some of his main civs. He's got a pretty strong France, Germany, and China for sure. So it's not like he can pick anything he wants, but he can still go for something like, I don't know, Euro here. Or Dutch. Dutch would be pretty good here, actually, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, we just have to wait.
Mitoe is not really in trouble in terms of civ picking here.
This map isn't played very often, is it? It's a bit like Florida in the sense that it's all swampy everywhere. But it's an interesting map at least. And it also has Seminoles, so if Mitoe could probably go Japan here. It's quite a strong map for Japan, if I recall, because the hunts are so spread out.
Yeah, the thing is that you can't really shrine on this map so much in the swamps, I think. So it's a bit annoying to be Japan.
Yeah, you can place.
It's a bad map for Japan, except for that. So I don't know.
No, you can place on the swamps on this map. I'm pretty sure. Because I played against Jesus. It was like a couple of days ago playing it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Mitoe will pick Japan. Maybe he won't, but some people won't pick Japan. I know that much for sure.
Thing is, also if you pick Japan first, you can get counter-picked by like
yeah, exactly.
So it's not ideal. I think Dutch would be, or Euro would be pretty strong. Yeah, indeed.
Riotcoke coming out. Yeah, exactly as you said, and yeah, Riotcoke is obviously a strong civ. It's a TP map, and.
Are you ready?
Oh, Somppu actually is going to play Japan.
Japan into Euro, okay. Usually considered to be hero favor, and I do agree with that. So kind of surprising from Sompu here going Japan.
I've never seen some people play Japan, actually.
He kind of does. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but he pretty much just goes ashy and runs around, and then
Okay, so he does the same as India, but just changes what muscles.
I know, yeah.
But
so yeah, but he said himself, "I take Japs so I can finally go drink some beer." So it looks like he's not really expecting to win that game anyway.
Yeah,
so he recognizes that Japs is maybe not the greatest pick right now. But he doesn't seem to care too much. I mean, he's down 3-0, so it's pretty hard to be motivated at this point, I guess.
Yeah, and as I said, Japan I think is actually quite good on this map, and you can actually you can actually put your shrines down in the swamps because
really? Okay.
Yeah, do you see where like the little tufts of dirt are? That you can put your shrines there, so that's how you do it. But as you said, Eric, maybe the sort of counter to Japan, and Mitoe obviously picking first, and then Sompu picking into the sort of countering himself, maybe. But it is a 300 wood start, which obviously I think is good for both civs. Mitoe should be chopping for a TC. TP. I don't think he is though. Yeah, he's not going to.
You don't have to, but yeah, it's pretty good. Especially in this matchup, I would go for a TP just because you can just FF then. And the FF is significantly better if you get an early TP, as you can just go like 5 bills and the 800 resources and just click up really quick and having infrastructure up and all that. But he decides to not go for a TP. No, never mind. He's chopping now. I guess he will go middle TP, which is fine, because he might. You have to chop 100 wood before you can drop your TP. So if you go here, you might just miss the XP. So Mitoe decided, yeah, I'm just gonna get 1 treasure, and then build the middle TP probably, or no, he's gonna go for a farm.
I might build a house. Yeah, that makes sense. But
what?
Why is it up
the
here?
hell is his farm placement?
Yeah, that's a bit interesting. I mean, some people apparently did something wrong. Oh, that's quite big actually. Some people like poofed away, and he's now gonna lose a shrine because of it.
Oh yeah, that is bad. That is really bad. But I'm still confused about that farm up there. But well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. It's not like you already want to gather on that farm until late game, so I guess it should be okay. And anyway, he will probably control that part of the map. Like if he ever goes on a farm anyway, he will probably be already controlling that part with the 2 coin mines. So whatever, I guess. But just a funny farm placement here. What treasures did they get? I mean, Mitoe did get a gnat.
40,
and,
yeah, it's basically the gnat is the only interesting one. Some people got 40 food and 20 wood. He's gonna now pick up 75 wood, so that sort of repays most of the shrine he just lost. But yeah, that shrine, losing that shrine was very sloppy. But Mitoe's now even gonna find the 2 dogs, so he's got like a pretty big sort of pet army.
Yeah. And Sompu he doesn't quite have the wood for another shrine, but I want to question that. Like, why would you not go for a Portuguese consulate on a wood start? Unless you go for something funky like a trading post or I don't know, but just why would you build 2 shrines instead of a trading post, a consulate and a shrine? Because a consulate means you pay 120 less food for your age up, essentially for free. I mean,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
you literally age up faster if you go consulate plus shrine. So I just and then you all your shrines are cheaper, obviously in transition as well. So I don't understand why some people just don't. But either way, I guess you might want to keep the export and build this consulate for the Japanese consulate and get some units maybe. But
What did he ship
well,
actually? I didn't know what he shipped. Oh, he sent 2 villagers.
yeah,
Again,
2 bills.
I think 2 villagers is actually just straight worse than 300 wood nowadays, because 300 wood sort
Maybe.
of correlates, especially when you get the treasure, like the 75 wood treasure, you end up getting 60 shrine pop, and at the end of the day, that's just better than having villagers on berries or on, because obviously Japanese villagers are worse than normal villagers because of not being able to hunt. But
yeah.
at the same
Mitoe
time,
has like 300 wood more. I would tend to agree with you. Yeah.
I think Mitoe's gonna age. I think he's slow aging, not aging. He's gonna go for Fortress Age. He's just slow aging now. Or maybe does Mitoe like going sort of the rush when you go slow age? I don't actually know.
It's hard to say. It's hard to tell what Mitoe is gonna do right now because he's mining gold, but he's getting the farm upgrade and then hunting dogs probably, and then he might just want to chop another 25 gold so that he can buy 100 wood from the crates. Let's see if he stops gathering. If he stays on gold, it means that he's probably gonna FF because obviously you don't need gold as hero, right? But if he just stops mining soon, it should mean that he's gonna stay H2. Either way, he's going forward. So I would say he's not FFing because why would you go forward against Somppu when he aged up before? I think he aged up before.
Yeah, Somppu did age up before.
Oh well, basically the same.
Somppu's now going for barracks and base, which is sort of what you expect, and he's also going for a Japanese consulate, and he's getting some Yabushis out. But at the same time, Warheart's going to go up, obviously, and it's not going to go down from the Yamabushi, I don't think, because you can just pop out the 5 Tomahawks and just defend it very easily. And 5 Ashigo have come out, so Somppu obviously playing a very low eco game. But
this is just typical Somppu Japan here, and I think he's pretty behind, and he's feeling like, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm behind. I might as well try something like that and see if it works, but not going to be successful here. Mitoe may be guessing that would happen with the Ashes and just shipping, or maybe waiting and checking Somppu's deck, seeing 5 Ashes and being like, meh, okay, you ship 5 Ashes, I'm just going to ship 7 hyenas, and then you're going to go back, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And this sort of rush. I mean, what can the rush do against the hyenas here? And obviously, their unit shipments are just stronger. 7 hyenas is stronger than 5 Ashigo.
Yeah.
And Mitoe's now going to get down a TP finally, so he's a bit late doing it, but I don't think he really minds.
That is surprising. Usually you would get it during transition. Looks like Mitoe decided to get the farm upgrade instead. The second farm upgrade as well. Well, this one is extremely expensive. The second one is only 15%, and it's like 100 wood more than steel traps, even though it's 5% less. So it's super. It's not very good. So he decided to prioritize this instead of the TP. But anyway, now a fight is happening, and this might be pretty good for Somppu actually. I mean, Mitoe doesn't have all that many units here. He might have something on the way though. Well, I mean, he's got 5 villas on the field, which is not really going to help right now. But maybe he can pop 5 hyenas or the big button or something like that and hold that. He already used the big button.
Button's already been used, so he might lose that Warheart actually. And honestly, it's quite a scary mess if Ashigo's. Hyena's not actually being the best units when they're running away to actually do with Ashigo's because of their shorter range and their process what they have to attack.
Although, to be fair, hyenas are faster, so at least they can't get caught by Ashes like crossbows, for example. At least they have 5 speed, so they can always run away.
Yeah, their setup means that you're gonna lose a couple of them when you run back, and
no, I mean you can't hit and run, but you can just escape. That's my point.
Yeah. But
I mean, yeah, that's not looking too good for Mitoe for sure. Even if he can hold that eventually, meanwhile he's lost 1 vil or maybe 2. Let's check. He's lost a veal, and he's getting idled so much, and this is not GG, but it's looking pretty good for Somppu.
Exactly, and there's even now 4 villagers coming out for Somppu, so isn't going for something more aggressive like the export shipment. But there's a number of hyenas now, and if we just look, I think there's 11 hyenas versus 18 Ashigos, and obviously I think 11 hyenas definitely beat 18 Ashigos. So can Somppu even take a fight here?
Well, yeah, he can fight the hyenas, sure. The thing is that as soon as he turns back, you see Mitoe is just shooting. Mitoe being a bit sloppy today with his unit control, I've noticed. Getting a couple shots, getting shot a couple of times, I mean, but he could have maybe just killed 1 Ashi and run away instantly. something like that. So the thing that it's just Japan, and even though he went for a very aggressive opening, nice form, yeah, he spots that on the top left.
Yeah.
Even though he went for a very aggressive opening, he's still gonna outscale Eero. And all these kind of trades, like running around, idling, trading units, forcing Eero to stay colonial a bit longer, all these kind of trades just plays into Japan's hand at this point. So looking pretty good for Somppu, yeah. He doesn't even need to retake a fight at this point. He can just... The longer this goes, the better it is. Also, note that Mitoe was not able to siege shrines ever because he's been too busy just fighting.
Yeah, but saying that, Somppu's shrine count is pretty pathetic, so...
Doesn't have a lot of shrines, but still, you know, it's even more painful. Like, when you have that kind of shrine count, if Eero can siege like 2 of them, you're housed, and that is really painful. But Mitoe is not able to do that, at least, so it's pretty good for Somppu.
Actually, attack. I would have preferred 600 wood there, really, just to get shrines up. But he's just going to push forward here. And especially with the Nagis, if he can catch those hyenas and take down the tomahawks, it'd be in quite a nice position. But
yeah, watch it going up though. But yeah, these Eero units can't hit and run, so they're always a little bit awkward in this kind of situation. Pretty good timing from Somppu here, getting the attack and a couple Nagis, but is it gonna be enough? This is kind of a close fight. It's hot, and more tomahawks.
More tomahawks are behind as well, which sort of spells going back for Somppu, and only a batch of 1 Ashi doesn't really help. He's just gonna.
I don't actually know. I don't know if this was a bad trade for. It was probably not a very good trade for Somppu, but not terrible either. So more Nagis though. I hope he's gonna pull them back, but I think he forgot about the rally points, so they're gonna get.
If they get slaughtered here, that's just stupid. That's so many resources just lost. Each one of these is like that's basically 600 resources damage, right? Oh.
Yeah, like 400 probably.
Yeah, I mean, one is basically useless. And it's just sending like 1 Ashi in it constantly.
And an Ashi as well. Yeah, feels bad for Somppu, man. And Mitoe is quite ahead in the score, which doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but I think this is quite a close game, but I would say Mitoe might be a bit ahead. Although a nice Ashi raid coming in here, Mitoe gonna lose at least like 2 or 3, maybe a 3rd veil now. Nope, gonna lose 2 veils here. Idling Mitoe a lot. A second war hut in base actually. Mitoe may be knowing that there's gonna be this kind of raids coming in.
Yeah, if the Ashis can actually find these villagers over here, it'd be huge.
Because yeah, that would be terrible for Mitoe for sure.
But at the same time, Mitoe's actually now going to clean up some of the shrines that Somppu has. It's not going to get him popped, but obviously it sort of worsens Zika. But yeah, I mean, I actually think that Somppu's going to find those villagers at the top there if he just so close to them.
I don't know, because Mitoe's veil was going there and then he pulled it to that direction so that Somppu would follow that lonely veil and not find the bunch of veils up here, and it looks like Somppu is not gonna find that. Meanwhile, yeah, he did lose a couple of shrines, which does give some XP to Mitoe as well. And what did we get now? Conservative tactics, yeah. So Mitoe's infantry is pretty strong, and the thing that even though he's killed a couple of veils and all that stuff, Somppu is just bleeding units here, and I don't know that he will ever get big enough mass to like. Will he ever catch up to fight this Eero army?
Exactly, and he's only really got a couple of clubs, a couple of Ashi, and a couple of Nagi at home. And this Eero army, especially with conservative tactics, is really, really strong. He's even got 4... yeah, and Stagecoach. He's obviously only got 2, because 1 in base isn't possible to take. But, yeah, he's just going to look inside his big shrine. I don't know what's in there. There's an Ashi. Yeah, there's a single Ashi in there. But yeah, I mean, Mitoe's just going to push forward here. The Japanese player's probably going to lose his. Oh, he lost 2.
Oh, 2 Ashis. Well, they tanked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's still Minutemen, I believe, for Somppu, so he might be able to call that. But it does not look like he can take this fight. I'm not sure why Somppu is fighting this right now instead of maybe... Like, look at all these idle Minutemen here. It's a big mistake. He could have just baited Mitoe into coming a bit more forward and then pop the Minutemen in this batch of Ashes and get a good fight maybe. But now he's pretty much lost the game now, I think, because he's never going to kill this army.
Yeah, those Ashes were... Look, my Ashes and Naggies were just fighting their Tomahawks. And obviously Tomahawks in melee combat are some of the strongest against cavalry in the game. And he's just going to lose this to Shogu Shrine, and what small eco he actually has is just going to get decimated after that happens. Obviously, there's a couple more Ashes coming in now, but the Aida are going to fire on the villagers. Oh, the Naginata's on the Aida, though. That's quite nice.
Yeah, and a 5-year midshipment, but it's just... I don't think it's enough. Mitoe is pulling back, playing it safe a bit, just microing, trying to get a good position, but yeah, this is as good as it gets for Somppu, but I don't think it's enough. Also, some Kanyas coming in, gonna help a lot here, and infantry attack as well. So now Mitoe in his turn is gonna clean this up again, and then Somppu will have 0 units, will not be able to gather from his cherry orchard, and will lose the game pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And as I are just so strong at this point. I mean, 15 range attack, and they shoot at 1.5 speed, don't they? So they're basically doing 60 attack against the Ashes each second. Oh, what a normal Ashes attack would do, which is just ridiculous. And those Yumis have installed still a single chance. More Kanya coming in now, and I mean, Somppu's obviously holding on because it's a tournament game, but this is completely over.
Yeah, it's whatever he pops now is gonna just die. He can't ever get a big timing now. It's not like he can pop a unit shipment plus a batch plus, I don't know, like he keeps trickling in some units, but they keep just dying. More Nagis now, but again, like, imagine if Somppu would have somehow, I'm not saying it's possible, but if he could have somehow, you know, popped all of that a bit kind of together, maybe he could have had a shot at killing this army. But he's always popping one unit and then the other and so on, and then he just keeps losing more and more units, and the scores are very one-sided now, and there's, we'll see if Somppu can make something happen here, but yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah, there you go, there's the GG. Obviously, Mitoe sort of redeeming himself. He didn't have the best track record in EPL. I think he probably had the worst track record of any of the players which were chosen to be the champions of their teams.
Probably, yeah.
And he's sort of sweeping the floor of Somppu now, which is, for the first stage of the tournament, it's like you like to see in for Mitoe here, really.
Yeah. That being said, Somppu was also champion, and he also had a pretty terrible EPL record. So I don't know which one.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, it's I mean, I know Somppu, and he can play better than that for sure. Somppu just didn't play really well, and Mitoe played solid. He made some mistakes, but he definitely played quite solid, and just Somppu did not. And this is why we have a very one-sided series here. We had only one really close game, I think, the Otto against France.
Yeah, and even then, I believe that the game probably shouldn't have been won by Mitoe, but I think Somppu aging sort of killed him. But again, the other games were so one-sided. Not saying Somppu played badly. I think he just he wasn't wasn't completely on form today.
He played bad compared to what he can do for sure.
Yeah, but he still played well respective to the general player base of the game, is what I mean.
Yeah, of course. But then when you're against Mitoe, you need to do more than that. So that was just not the greatest performance here from Somppu, but well, happens. So Mitoe is going to move on to the round of, to the semifinals of the playoffs now, and Somppu is out.
Yeah, and I don't know how many more games we have now. Actually, we've had 3 or 4 games already. So I think there's only one more game left in the round of 8, and we'll see who's in the semi-finals. And obviously, there's only 2 games in the semi-finals and 1 game in the final. So honestly, it's last sort of stretch of the Grand Tours. There's not much left of it.
I'm playing against Knush in semifinals, and we know there's Mitoe in the other semifinals. And I can't remember if the last round of 8 game was played, indeed. And I can't find it either. Okay, there you go. Just a second, guys. Yeah, actually, they were all played. The other one was Taban going 4-0 as well.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a great game. So yeah.
Mitoe is going to move to semifinals against Taban here.
Which should be quite good, actually, because obviously Taban is... I think Taban's... Has he come back really from his sort of vacation from the game? Or is he still... is he still not playing?
Kind of suspect he's been playing on some Smurf, probably, because he performed pretty well. And for someone who didn't play in like 2 months, like we literally never saw him online, and then he just came back and played not his best, but still very decent. And I suspect he's maybe playing on a couple Smurfs.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that he's back to his former level, let's say. So it will be interesting for sure.
Yeah. But I think for tonight, that's us done, unless you want